And a very good Sunday morning to everybody. It's the 23rd of January 2022. We have seen some drama in the markets, and we're going to explain a few things as to this dramatic situation that we've seen playing out. When we take a look at the markets, we need to sometimes zoom out and say, not what's happening to Bitcoin, but what's happening to the whole world stock markets. What's happening? We've seen in previous years that holidays or events or traditional holidays, religious holidays, have a huge effect in the markets and sometimes no effect. But we had a very interesting coinciding events that were happening together at the same time. Starting with a normal number 19 crash. So always remember that the 19th is not normally a good time, and the 21st also. In other words, every 7 days, it seems like Bitcoin has a dip. Not always, but it seems that way. The second thing we noticed is the Chinese New Year started on the 22nd. That was yesterday. And they, obviously, when you go on holiday or when you go on a celebration, you need cash so that you can buy things. So it's a consumer time for China or the Chinese people. Also, all imports and exports will be halted. No, the ports will be closed in China, etc. What we've also noticed is the Dow Jones had a huge, serious drop together with the S&P. Now, when we take a look at some of these markets, we can clearly see that they are busy crashing big time. Now, last year during October, I did a call with Scott Belson, and I kind of projected this is what the stock market would do. After my first projection, the market went up. Then it went down when I said it was going to go up. But notice how that this gap, it fell onto that line, and then from there went down to this line, of course, bouncing all the way back up, finding some other resistance line up there. But now look, I said from there, it would start going up again. So how do you project these things? Is by just using your imagination sometimes, but support and resistance lines and historical graphs from the past, we are almost on par with this particular line right there now at 34,000. And maybe we're going to see a little bounce before we see the next drop. So if you had watched these videos of on Loving Life with Scott Belson, you would have seen I would have drawn these out and shown. So the stock market didn't crash, physically crash, but we've seen a housing bubble pop or a property bubble pop with Evergrande in China. And we've seen them having to demolish a whole lot of complexes and properties that they built because they're going bankrupt. And it's not like public knowledge. You've got to look it up sometimes to find this information. We would also look at the S&P, because the S&P and the Bitcoin price generally follow each other. And of course, the S&P had a serious drop. Right. I didn't do many predictions on the S&P, but that's what I did. And I thought it would bounce up and carry on going down because we are in the Shemitah cycle. But we can go and draw a support line here somewhere and see if this is coinciding in any way. Of course, it's dropped below the support line, and it most likely shoot back up again. When we take a look at Bitcoin, then we don't think anything would be different. So people say, well, wouldn't crypto go up when the stock market goes down? All of the markets respond with the same emotion when the stock market goes down. We saw this in 2019 with the announcement of pandemic and the lockdowns, and all these markets crashed big time. And then the recovery came. So the question is, a lot of traders say, what must I do? Must I cash out? No, folks. The idea of trading is to buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. Not buy high, sell low. Buy high, sell low, because that's what a lot of the traders are doing. And then they just disappear into the mist. We don't see them again. It's because they don't have patience with the markets. They're greedy. They think the price is just going to go up. They use all their funds to buy into the market. And guess what? When we take a look at Bitcoin, we see it's dropped below this channel that it's been in. We've seen on the RSI, it went as low as 20%. That's, I'm talking a one-day graph now. A 4-hour graph looks a little different to this, but yes, let's take a look at the 4-hour graph. 4-hour graph shows there's some recovery. It was sitting at 18% on the RSI. So the oversold hit a pretty low. And when we go back on both the 4-hour, well, the 4-hour, we see more regular lows, but on the one-day chart, we saw that the last time it went so low was May 19, 2020. So we've seen 19 and another 19, or 19, 20, 21, same time period. So people would normally cash out some of their crypto on this 18th, 19th, 20th before the big rush comes, because the 28th, another rush comes of sell-offs, and people need money to pay their stuff. Now, when we look at this particular graph, we can see we've drawn a channel here. The channel hit a high there, but we could possibly draw in another channel over here. Let's just take this away and switch this a bit. And then we take a channel from those two highs and we project it down and say, okay, we've got a new channel within a channel, and that might be the next place it would drop to. 32,000, $31,000. So what I'm suggesting is make sure you can buy in the dips. We have a descending wedge over here, or descending triangle. So far, we had one there, but we haven't seen the end of this yet. So it's still, either way, it's going into a wedge, and we would see some reversals coming. On the general, overall, we can see that only 2 coins are above 20%, which shows that the markets aren't looking so good, but it still shows a rebellion of coins against Bitcoin. So when I say rebellion, they're just going in the opposite direction. So somebody that goes against the flow or the stream is normally called a rebel. So we just say, all right, these coins went up even while Bitcoin was going down. So they have their own patterns and their own cycles, and all of these coins must have some functionality in the world of crypto. So they all have some functionality, or are they just being pumped? Traders will always find something, doesn't matter how low the market is, they will always find something that they can trade. Which coins to trade? Well, we're going to go through a few coins during the course of the day. We will update you, but still be very, very careful, because not being careful means you buy in the coin, you walk away from the screen, You don't take profits on that coin. When it drops after going up 5 or 10%, then you cry. Great, folks. You have an awesome day. We are looking at some reversals soon, but we still have to be careful because when the markets open on Monday, we might see some more drops or we might see some recoveries. And what I'm thinking we're going to be seeing is gapping. We'll talk about this later. Great. Chat later. Bye.